I'm Sandy Peckinpah, and I am so happy to have you here. Cynthia, yay. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you're here. And already some purple hearts. I feel so special. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, Julie is here, and Liberty's here. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so happy about that. I want to show you what I wrote. You know that the MAC has an amazing program. Their photo booth program is so much fun. You have all of these wonderful effects. Oh, Cynthia, thank you for inviting your followers. And kiss to you too, Liberty. And I took this photo booth of me, and it actually sort of makes me look younger than I actually am, but I love it. And I wrote, my words are my vision. And I scope about using your life story as the backdrop for the greatest life you can ever imagine, because you create them with your words. And I love talking with you about life in its many forms, whether it's joy or heartache or loss or sorrow, achievement or triumph. I am here, and yay, I have some hearts already. I'm turning them. Hello, I am so happy to be back with you. I did a short Periscope earlier because I'm part of this Periscope challenge. Oh, Cynthia, thank you for sharing it. I do part of this Periscope challenge that Bonnie L. Frank has, and it's called The True You. And today I had to go around where I work, which is my writing haven here in my office, and I had to just talk a little bit about sharing how I go about my writing process, what my writing space looks like, where I read, where I journal, all of that. And I had so much fun doing that. And I hadn't planned on what I was going to talk about today until I was going over my blogs. And I found a blog that I'd written a while ago, but it's still so relevant to me. And you look exceptionally beautiful and vibrant today. Woo-hoo! Thank you, Liberty. Thank you. I am. You know, Liberty asked me how I was today just before I came on. And I said happy. And that is such a great feeling to say, how are you? Happy. Most of the time people say, oh, I'm fine, or I'm well, or I'm good, or I'm great. No, you know what? Today I am happy because I feel so good that I'm sharing my message with you and that I get to do this every single day. It's just life-changing for me. So I wanted to talk to especially the writers in you, or the people who like to journal, or even the people who are doing self-discovery. The importance of making room for the unexpected, because we all have those moments in our life where we say, wow, where did that come from? I didn't expect that to happen. Well, you know, if you're struggling right now and you've been thrown maybe a set of circumstances that you're not understanding, the important thing to recognize is that down the road, hindsight creates wisdom. And suddenly you figure out where that came from and why that happened in your life and how you can make sense of it all. Shaquita Lee, thank you for joining me. Oh, and look at these beautiful blue and purple hearts. And I hope that you're following me. You can hit that little guy down there and pull my profile up. Hi, so glad you're joining me. And I'd love for you. And Sally, yay, Sally's here too. Oh, I feel so happy. So, and you can follow me. Julie says it's the unexpected that can change your life. Absolutely. And I know you know that better than anybody. And somehow all the pieces fit together. So making room for the unexpected. My unexpected story actually began when I was born, because no one expected me to pop out with red hair, white skin, and blue eyes. And I'm telling you, my parents didn't expect it. My mother wasn't a redhead, really. She had some red in her hair, but I mean, not like me. I had bright red, like carrot red hair. And I found out that less than 1% of the population has that combination. And I was quite surprised. So everybody was always telling me as a child, wow, you have red hair and blue eyes and freckles. And I always felt special. And my mom always told me I was special, and so did my dad. And thanks, Sally. It makes me special. I feel special. I'm so glad you're all on here today. That's really fun, and I love these pink hearts and the yellow hearts and blue hearts and green hearts and purple hearts, and oh my goodness, I am so thrilled. So I always had this feeling that there was absolutely nothing wrong with me. I was the happiest child, and I started a new school in 5th grade, as I shared yesterday on the Periscope. And if you haven't caught that one, you can actually catch it in replay on catch.me. That's with a K, KATCH.me. If anybody wants to type that in, you can go to all of my previous broadcasts on catch.me. Again, it's KATCH.me, M-E. And I shared how I moved 12 times before the age of 12 because my father was in the military. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. My father was in the military, and so we zigzagged across the United States. And I finally came to the Monterey Peninsula, and I started on my very first day of school. And let me tell you, the most uncomfortable feeling in the world is being the new kid in school after school has already begun. And so I was there, and I felt the eyes of everybody in the classroom. Yes, catch.me, Sally. I felt the eyes of everybody in the classroom in 5th grade when I walked in. And I still thought, oh, they're looking at me. I'm the new kid, and I have red hair, exactly. I thought I was okay until first period recess. And I went out to the playground, and I was planning on playing ball or something with all the kids. But gosh, I noticed that this one boy who'd really been looking at me in the classroom, he started walking over toward me. And I didn't know what to think. And he sort of had this smile on his face. So I thought, oh, he's coming to greet me or ask me to play ball or something. And he walked right up to me, and he spit in my face and said, "I'd rather be dead than red." I was so horrified. I was wiping the spit off of my face, but I didn't want. Yes, oh, thank you, Shakita Lee. I appreciate that. I didn't want him to see me cry, so I held my composure as long as I could, and I turned around, and I didn't want to walk fast because I didn't want him to see me running in horror. And I walked slowly to the bathroom, and as soon as I got to the girls' bathroom, I started washing my face and scrubbing it and crying and taking those brown paper towels that are so rough, just scrubbing my cheeks until they were raw because the spit was on my face. And I suddenly looked in the mirror really closely, and I thought, for the first time in my life, is there something wrong with me? It takes me back there in a heartbeat telling you this story, because I'd never thought that anything was wrong with me until that moment. And I know that you all have a moment like that in your childhood that was really a wake-up call and unexpected, as I call the title of this show, Make Room for the Unexpected. I did not expect that at all. After I had scrubbed my face raw, I went to the nurse's office and told the nurse I had an upset stomach. Oh, Liberty, I'm so sorry. Oh, I went to the nurse, and my cheeks were red, so I looked sick, and I told her that I had an upset stomach, and the nurse called my mom to pick me up. And she did. And when I got in the car, I just sort of sniffled and cried. And my mom thought that I was actually had a cold. And I didn't want to tell her because I was so horrified that suddenly I had been awakened to something being wrong with me. And so for the next 2 weeks, I really fought going to school, but my mom made me, but I hung my head. And slowly I started to make a few friends. Liberty says it's all good. It has taught me things I now teach others, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Thank you for sharing that, Liberty. And you do. You're an inspiration. So after that, I started writing in a diary. And then it was called a diary. Now it's called a journal. And I remember writing every day my thoughts. I love you. Every day I started writing down my thoughts in my journal. And suddenly after about 2 weeks, something in those words gave me the power to feel stronger and better and proud of myself and willing to start all over again and stand up and be who I am, who I was. And so I went back to school, and the bold new me entered the classroom with a whole different attitude. I even said hello to the boy that spit in my face, and he was like quite surprised. And over the next couple of years, I let my hair grow really long. I had really long red hair, and it was in the age of being a hippie, so I felt very cool, and I was very proud of my red hair, and I became very proud of my freckles. And the Beatles came into my life over the next few years. And Paul McCartney had a girlfriend with long red hair, Jane Asher. Do you remember? I'm sure all of you that are old enough loved the Beatles. When they first came to the United States, it was a miracle. Yes, Sally. And for the longest time, I thought that I was truly going to marry Paul McCartney. And I went to a concert at the Cow Palace with my little gray purse. I remember it to this day. I had a houndstooth skirt, lace-up boots, and I had my skirt was a mini skirt. Lace-up boots, and I brought a toothbrush and toothpaste because I was so certain that he was going to ask me to join him on the next show the following night, that I had to have toothpaste and a toothbrush. So I was one of a sea of young girls in the audience at the Cow Palace, and it was one of the highlights of my life. But you know what? I went there bold and proud because I had my red hair and I had feelings about myself that I had created as my vision of myself. My words are my vision, and I want to keep saying that to you. Your words are your vision. It's who you are, who you're telling yourself you are, and it gives you the poetry for your life. It is your song of life. And in my journal, I envisioned that someday I would be on stage like Paul McCartney. And so I started writing in my journal, and lo and behold, I joined a singing group in my hometown, and that singing group led to me going to New York to audition for the national cast of the show. And it was everything that I had envisioned in my words. And I suddenly was joined to this cast in New York, and I ended up traveling around the world with the message of hope and joy and unity and love, and that we're all equal. And it was the first time I could ever remember feeling that I had a message that I could share with the world at that young age. And I want you to think back on that time, because I know that something transpired in your life, and it could have been a terrible incident or it could have been a happy incident. And these purple hearts are telling me that that's resonating with you. And that's why I love that you give me hearts, because it resonates. It's resonating, and it fuels me, and it makes me just so happy that I'm sharing something that's of value. So thank you, and I'm so glad you're still here. So one of the things that I remember reading recently is that Dr. Viktor Frankl, who was a neurologist, a psychiatrist, and a Holocaust survivor, said that In a Man's Search for Meaning was his book. In some ways, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment that it finds meaning. Well, by getting on that stage, I didn't realize it then, but in looking back, that was my moment of transformation when I turned my suffering into meaning and was able to share my message. So I continued to write in my journal, my diary, and I documented my travels and my life and catapult forward into my 40s. I had 4 incredible children. And a wonderful marriage, a wonderful life in the entertainment business. My husband and I enjoyed such a creative marriage. It just kept me alive. And I never realized how much I had counted on my life going my way because I had made it happen. I thought that everything was a fairy tale, that I had created this wonderful life and nothing bad could ever happen because I'd been such a good girl and I left no room for the unexpected. And yet it happened. Actually, it happened twice. The first time when I was 38 years old and I gave birth to my daughter and she was born with a birth defect. And I'm so grateful that it was a birth defect that could be repaired with surgery, but that was the unexpected. The next time was when I was 42 years old and my son was 16 and he came home with a fever and was dead the next morning of bacterial meningitis. And I kept thinking, how could that have happened to me? I thought I had done everything right. How could that have happened? I was reigning over my fairy tale life. And no one wants to believe that anything bad can happen. And I know there are some of you on this broadcast who have experienced that. And what I realized is that those bad things, as hard as they are, if you're on this broadcast, they didn't kill you. You're still standing. You know what? They transformed you. And I know this is resonating because of these beautiful, beautiful rainbow of hearts that are coming up this screen. You know, when my son died, I was suddenly a woman I didn't recognize, and I had to transform all over again, just like that little red-haired girl in 5th grade who was told that her red hair was ugly. The boy said, "I'd rather be dead than red." And you know what? I transformed from that. I became a person that was stronger and better and more powerful, and you can bet that I had a compassionate heart for everybody in the world that suffers from those feelings of being less than and not beautiful and not worthy, because I had experienced bullying. And you know, it's such an interesting topic today because I don't believe that we even used that word when I was in 5th grade. Julie says, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, she became a butterfly. Oh gosh, I love you for saying that. Thank you so much. That is the perfect thing to say at this moment. Isn't that beautiful? So I want you to look at the chapters of your life and look at the moments that you transformed from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Thank you, Julie. Because of what happened. And here's the other thing. You know, I'm going to be doing this 5-day writing challenge that I want all of you that love to write in your journal, your book, your memoir, blogs, whatever you want to write. I promise you this challenge is going to be transforming because I'm going to pull it from you. I'm going to make you look at your life story, and this is one of the tools that I use. And I know there's somebody on here named Sally who's done this. We're going to look at your life, and I'm going to help you create a story arc, and I'm going to help you look at those transformative moments from the positive and the negative, because I love doing that. I love helping people recognize their story. And whether you write it as a book or a blog or a song or a poem, just knowing it transforms you. And so we're going to do that together. And I'm going to announce pretty soon when I'm going to start that process. And I know some of you have been saying, when? Well, I just kind of feel like I thought I was going to do it in December, but I'm just kind of feeling like I want to give you more thoughts and ideas to prime you so you're ready for this challenge and that you really want to do it and you'll commit to it. And I feel like December might be a little bit too busy for you. And so I'm going to do it in January. I hope that's okay with you. And I'd love your feedback on it if it's not okay. Liberty, thank you for coming back in. I'm hoping that this broadcast is broadcasting okay because sometimes it goes off and on. So anyway, I like that plan. Okay, Cynthia, yay. You know what? You're one of the most important people on this challenge. I promise you. And so if you think that plan is great, then I'm going with it. I'm going to do January. And, you know, I've already written the program. And you know what? Here are some of the worksheets I've got written. I've already got these worksheets written and ready to download. I'm so excited. And here's another one. And I've got stuff. Yay! I've got stuff that is going to encourage you to get your butt in the chair and start writing. And it looks like I'm getting a delay on this broadcast. So I think I'm going to end it. And I love you so much. And if you want to find out more, yay, me too, Liberty. We're going to be doing a writing seminar together. And so here you can contact me on Twitter at Sandy Peckinpah if you want to contact me about joining the challenge. And also, if any of this broadcast dropped, you know what happens? In replay, it actually plays the whole thing. So if any of you had the broadcast drop because the internet service was not that great, and it might be on my end. I had my cable guy out today fixing it. Might still not be working that great. But you can watch it in replay, and usually all of it is in replay. And so, again, at Sandy Peckinpah, let me know. I'll put you on the mailing list. And it's absolutely free. We're just going to do this together, and we're going to transform together. I love you all so much for joining me. And thank you for the hearts. You know what? I think I have over 23,000 hearts. God bless you. All right. Have a great night, and I'll be back tomorrow. You are awesome. And remember, I'm going to turn this around. One more time. My words are my vision. Your words are your vision. Keep writing, my friends. You are awesome. I love you so much, and I'll join you tomorrow. Bye-bye.